Sound is rolling, camera is rolling, and I think that we're good to go. Hi everyone, you're welcome back to another episode of TY's Thoughts. My name is Oluwatoyin, Toyin for short and TY for shorter. And for those who are not Nigerian or from the Yoruba tribe and wonder what the meaning of my name is, Oluwatoyin means God is worthy to be praised, and I absolutely love my name. But hey, today we're not talking about the meaning of my name. You're welcome if this is your first time to my channel, and today I want to talk about 7 specific lessons that have stood out for me on this journey of life. Now, sometimes last week I had a session with some people and I was billed to talk about lessons from my 20s, and going down memory lane and just preparing for that and having that conversation with myself and eventually with them led to these thoughts that I'm going to share today. And these 7 lessons are not all of the lessons on the journey of life, but there are some that specifically stand out for me in this time. And as I thought about it, it was this 7 that popped in my head, and I said, okay, you know what, let's just talk about it and share. And I would like you to also share in the comment section some lessons that you have learned on this journey of life. I always say that even if you are 10 years old, right, we all, as life is evolving and progressing, we are all learning lessons. So if you're watching this, you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, hey, I'd like to learn your lessons. But let me quickly start with mine. 7 lessons. Number 1, never say never. Never say never. What do I mean? Now, you know, there's a way we say sometimes in life, I would never do this. I will never go there. I will never marry with that person. I will never apply for that job. I can never do that kind of job. I will never work in that kind of place. I can never fall for that temptation. You know, many times we just use this word never like we are the owners of all of the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding in the world, or almost like we think that we control things, and so we can determine or we can predict what we would do, what we would never do. But what I've learned is that, look, life is evolving. We are evolving beings as well. And when you put such a categorical statement on something, you never know what tomorrow holds. You never know what tomorrow brings. In fact, tomorrow is too far away. You know, there's something I say these days that my new mantra is, I live 1 second at a time. I don't even do 1 day at a time. 24 hours is too much for me to believe that I have the whole 24 hours in my control. I live 1 second at a time. And I believe that if, you know, we are more aware of that, then we'll be very careful as to the things that we put categorical statements like never in. I know people who have said things like, I can never marry that guy, and it is that same person they got married to. Because in one state of life, either you saw the person a certain way or you yourself were a certain way, and you came to make very permanent decisions that in another season of life, maybe with the benefit of maturity, with the benefit of new information, new knowledge, and those kinds of things, it is a whole different decision that you came to. And it reminds me of that quote that says, never make a permanent decision based on a temporary condition. Think about it well. And for some of us that like to feel self-righteous, like, I can never fall for that temptation, I can never. People of God, be humble. Be very humble and be very careful. I was listening to an Instagram live once, and someone called, no, I would say someone called in. It wasn't a radio show. Someone was added to the Instagram live. A friend of mine was just, you know, talking about things, and this person was saying how he used to live, he was in Nigeria, but now he lives in another part of the world. And what he realized is that things that he used to say he could never find himself in this kind of situation, or he would never find himself doing, he realizes that because of this new place that he's living, certain restrictions are taken away. You're even in a place where nobody knows you. And for the first time, he has come to realize that he is not as caged up from certain things like he thought he was. So now he has to be more careful, because when he was maybe in a place like Nigeria, maybe, you know, you had certain support structures around you, you could say things like, I will never do this, I will never do that. Fast forward to another couple of years, a different environment, you just never know. So even when you want to make categorical statements like that, be humble to realize that you do not know everything in this world. And that would take me quickly to my second point. I wrote them on my phone, so I'm just going to be reading them out of my phone. So number one was never say never. Number two is what we do not know is way more than what we know. I'll say that again. What we do not know is way more than what we know. And what that means is be very careful sometimes as to how we make decisions, judgments, permutations, 5-year plan, 10-year vision casting, all of these things. See, all these things that we are seeing, the one that we cannot see is more than the one that we can see. So for me, these are things that humble me at times, which is why I say you might think of a certain situation you are in now, and because of what you see, you come to a conclusion. But realize that what you don't see, what you don't know, the amount of information you don't have, the amount of knowledge that you need is way more than what you know now. So just be careful in the ways that we respond to life, that we react to such situations, that we react to people. We just never know. This life is so interesting. It is so sometimes even scary that we all just have to be careful and be seeking for the mercy of God day by day by day. What we don't know is more than what we know. Number three, oh my God, I can do an entire conversation on this. Number three, stay the course. Stay the course. Now, what do I mean? If you know that you are on a certain path of life, it could be based on a job, it could be a course in school, it could be a marriage, it could be anything, and you believe that you are facing difficulties, and because of these difficulties, you want to exit the building, stay the course. Let me just drop one thing here. There will always be difficulties in life, especially for people who are Christians and who came into that ideology or that theology where you were told once you become a Christian, you never have a problem in life. And then you begin to feel, why does it seem as if I'm even having more problems? Where is God? All of these things. And you give up and give up and give up. You start something, is difficult. You move to the next one, it's difficult. You move to the next one, it's difficult. Stay the course. We would always face roadblocks. We would always have challenges. We would always face setbacks. Even if you thought the day we were saying I do, that person was the person you loved the most in the entire world. And all of a sudden, 1 year down the line, you're wondering what's going on. Things will happen in life that would always make us question our decisions, the course of action that we've taken. And there are certain times where you need to know that what you need to do is actually stay in that thing, stay the course. That is not the time to give up. That is not the time to give in. That is not the time to let go. That is the time to say, okay, I am going to push past this thing. And across all my videos, if this is your first time, I have so many videos on my channel that you can watch. This is a recurring theme that I always talk about. Stay the course. If you look at people who we are celebrating today that have built industries, that have built businesses, you will see that they stayed with one thing and they've built it over time. They've learned how it works. They've learned how it doesn't work. They've learned how to build it. They have stayed in that thing, which is why today they are being celebrated. Stay the course. Don't be the kind of person that gives up at one little issue, another issue here. There might be some situations that you should know when to exit the building, but I believe that more often than not, the reason why we are not manifesting great things is because we give up too soon. Trust me, there's something that I tried to do this year. It didn't manifest till this last quarter of the year. Now, if this was me in my 20s, by the time I didn't sort of like see the fruit of that thing in like June, July, I could have let go. Because I've just said, it's not working, let's move on to another one. But I have learned to stay the course, sit with it, work it out, stay the course. Moving on to number 4. I mean, we can unpack all of these points, can be unpacked. There's so many other things that can come out from these, but I'm just dropping the nuggets, and I believe that you're taking something out of it. Number 4, forgiveness is by the second. Forgiveness is a whole kettle, in itself, right? But the point that I want to make in this is there is the action where you make the decision to say, somebody hurt me, I forgive. Then there is the journey, the process of actually working out that forgiveness as time goes by. Now, let me tell you, first things first, know this. We would always be hurt, most especially by people closest to us, the people we love the most, families, close friends, best friends, spouses, even children, even parents. We will be hurt by these people. It's a part of life. We hurt people too, right? It's all humanity at work. So know first that, and sometimes as well, it is deep betrayal. It's not even just some small matter that you can say, oh, I forgive you, I've moved on. It is deep betrayal. And what happens with deep betrayal, especially when it's from people that are closest to us, is that that forgiveness, that process of forgiving actually takes time to unpack. So there is the time where you make the decision to say, I have forgiven this person. I have forgiven this offense. You can make that decision at once, right? But I mean, how many people has this happened before? Maybe somebody hurt you and at some point you came to the decision where you said, okay, you know what? I've forgiven this person. Then you're in a conversation and you hear the name of the person. That's all. You didn't even see the person. You just heard the name. You start to feel some tense inside of you. Your body is shaking. Why? And you're wondering, but I thought I forgave this person. Yes, you made the decision to forgive. But the process of forgiving is that every time that you have a conversation, you hear the person. Every time that you see the person. Every time that you are scrolling through Instagram and you see the person, that is another opportunity to drop an extra tree from that, an extra fruit rather, from that tree of unforgiveness, because forgiving is in itself a journey. There is the one-time decision to be made to say, okay, you know what, at this point I dropped this offense, but there is the continuous work in every time shedding that pain, in every time shedding that hurt, in every time letting those emotions go. And we need to also give ourselves the grace to work that journey of forgiveness, which is why I said forgiveness is by the second. Because sometimes you might feel like, but is there something wrong with me? I thought I forgave this person. Why do I still feel like this? Am I a bad person? No, you're not a bad person. You are just working out the process of forgiveness. And if you allow that process to be worked out, you get to a point where you might even see the person and you have forgotten that they offended you. But sometimes it takes a one-time decision, and sometimes it takes a journey, a process of forgiving and continuing in that action word of forgiving. So forgiving is by the second. Don't be hard on yourself, but understand as well that you need the grace to go through the process, especially when it's from those closest to us and when the betrayal and the pain is deep. Moving on quickly, number 5, seek, learn, grow. I know this might sound like ask, seek, knock. No, it's not that scripture. Seek, learn, and grow. And I think I've also talked about this in one of my videos, Stop Struggling, Start Studying. Now, what do I mean by this? Life is a continuous journey of learning. We don't stop learning after university. In fact, the real learning of life in itself has just begun. And every time that we face a roadblock, every time that we face a setback, it is just another pointer as to a knowledge gap, as to a wisdom gap, as to something we don't know how to do. And so what we need to do in that, when we face that setback, is not to say, okay, the world is over. No, it's to now seek the knowledge that you need. It's to seek the wisdom that you need. It's to seek to know, is to learn, and then to grow and overcome that challenge. What happens to a lot of us is you get into that place because once again, you thought you knew everything, you had it all figured out, you knew how it was going to work, you had your permutations, your casting, your business plan, right? Yeah, you did all of the plans. And then you got there and it ballooned up in your face. And instead of just being humble, sometimes it's a function of humility. Drop the ego, drop the pride, and just say, you know what? I didn't know this was how this was going to be. Drop the ego, drop the pride. Life shows us sometimes our frailties. Life shows us sometimes our weaknesses. We all have imperfections. We are all a work in progress. When you meet another signpost that shows you, ping, 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 work to do here, work there to do here, just go and seek the knowledge. That's all. Learn and grow. The people that are continuously growing in life are those that know how to get to that blockage and say, okay, this is not about the fact that I don't have enough. It's about the fact that I need more. What you have has taken you to that level, but it is what you do not have that you need that will take you to the next level. So seek, learn, and grow. Number 6, and I really like this as well, do that which you fear. Fear is not meant to stop us from doing that which we should do. Do that which you fear. And many times this fear thing, if I when people say things like, what are you afraid of? Fear or failure? Fear, what are you fearing? Are you the Lord God Almighty? Of course you're not. So obviously, there are things in life that will make us afraid. There are things in life that either based on our limitations, conditions, background, experiences, fear of those things have already been embedded in us. And the problem is when we hold ourselves back because of that fear, we are not allowing ourselves step into our full potential per time, per season. Even something as simple as fear of heights. Someone came to meet me somewhere that was very high, and she came with a friend. So when they were leaving, her friend said, oh, she's afraid of heights. I said, afraid of heights? What? I took her to the ledge. I said, look down now. What are you afraid? What is fearing you? Look down and conquer that fear. Do that which you fear. Once you see that the reason why something is holding you back is because you're afraid of it, go in the direction of that fear. And many times what is after that fear is even for you a bigger revelation of yourself. Like you would overcome that thing and see yourself so differently and not even believe that you're the one. We were not created to let fear hold us back. We were created to go in the pursuit and the direction of our goals and dreams. And when we meet those things that make us say, hey, stop, hold back, just like David and Goliath. People think David saw Goliath and was not afraid. He was, but he knew what he carried was bigger. You say you want to write an exam. There was one of the things I always used to say that I feared when I was younger was math. But now I'm thinking back and I'm like, no, it wasn't meant to be feared. It was meant to be conquered. Sit down with it, master it. The people that understand it, they don't have 10 heads. So there are things in my life now that I am reaching out for that a couple of years ago I'd have been like, you know what, just leave it. Let's just, but now I'm like, no, we are going to do it. Even if it's just to say, I can do it. I got it done. I overcame you. Moving on, we are going to do it. Do that which you fear. And last but not the least, number 7. Oh, this one I am learning. I'm still learning. I have learned. We need one another. Guys, no man is an island. No one is a solo project. No one is, independent. Leave all that independence. We are created to be interdependent, to be independent in ourselves, but understand that there is a reason why you, me come together and we make things work. There's that quote that says, teamwork makes the dream work. It's absolutely true. See, nobody does great things alone. Nobody. Even if you have all these strengths in the world, which you don't have, nobody does things alone. You need people. We need one another. And for some of us who have struggled with understanding how to work with people or how to do things together with people, you need to get to the point where you first allow your mind to understand that, look, you are not created as an island. You are not created as a solo ranger. All these days of solo ranger, let it go. Begin to build tribes, build communities. You're trying to achieve a goal. Go and join a community who is focused on that goal. You're trying to do something. Get a couple of friends together. Guys, let's do this together. We need one another. We were created to do things together. I always say that even God is Father, Son, and Spirit. He's not one, he's 3. Let that sink in for some of us. So don't do solo ranger, solo ninja. I can do good, not bad though. I can do good all by myself. No. Come together. Do things with people. It is such a powerful thing and it absolutely transforms the world. And so this is what I wanted to share today, these 7 lessons. I'll share more as they come, but I am very sure that you took something out of these lessons. Like I said, I would like to hear in the comment section your lessons on the journey of life and living. Maybe number 8 will be, if I was going to add an 8th lesson, let us learn from one another. Thank you for watching, guys. Remember to subscribe to my channel. And if this is your first time, there's so many videos. There are worship sessions. You can enjoy those and just let it take you, you know, in that place with God, in that place of intimacy with God. And there are also just conversations, lessons on this journey of life and living. Thank you for watching, and until the next time, God bless you.